section called Catch Up in Stage 3, The Hero. Welcome to Happy Life Results Book Group.
With the author, Stacey McPherson.
All right, so in this section, if you try to think of things from the perspective of the subconscious sun, so we've kind of touched on this to prepare you, having all that processing power and hyperspeed impulses, yet depending on the little thumb to assign meaning and direction and instruct the body to move. What would that be like? Like, think about it.
Okay. What would that be like? The sun is light years ahead of the thumb when it comes to dealing with immediate threats. Sometimes it just cannot wait for the conscious to catch up. So we suddenly realize we jerked our hand away from a shock, and only afterwards does the conscious catch on to the reason. And in subconscious processing power, quite a while afterwards.
Yes. Like, if you think of how fast the subconscious can think, you know, like however you want to say that, process information, how slow are we compared? If
you're a Marvel fan, is it Marvel? No, you know the better one? The X-Men, where they were in the kitchen scene.
Oh my goodness, yes.
And they have, I think his name is Quicksilver. Sorry.
Quicksilver, I think
is that right? Anyway.
Yes.
If we got it wrong, please don't hate. They're in the kitchen, and the guards are shooting at them, and the guy who can move metal.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Shoot. We actually really love the movies.
We do.
Anyway, it shows from his perspective.
Magneto.
Magneto. Look at you. Okay, so yeah, he was going to turn the knives and attack, and Professor X is like, no killing, and then Quicksilver runs around the room in his perspective, so everyone's just sitting there, and he kind of flicks one cheek, and he moves the bullets around. He's like, let me move this bullet so it doesn't hit you, and this bullet here, and then when it goes back to the perspective of everyone else, all the bullets just go past, and everyone flips, and they're all on the ground. And they're just like, because 1 second they hear the bullet, and the next second everyone's on the ground and the bullets don't hit them. But from his perspective, he's like listening to his music and moving things around. So I kind of think of the subconscious as kind of doing that. And then we're like, whoa, that was a shock. That was so fast. And the subconscious is like, oh, let's move your hand. And I'll wait until you catch up.
Yeah, that's true. That's hilarious.
So just another aspect, right? That's how we're kind of talking today.
Yeah, and I think it's super powerful to think about it from the perspective of the subconscious, because what it does is it flips. Like, we're so used to thinking about us as the conscious, but to actually think that, try to comprehend what it's like for the subconscious and realize the subconscious is you too. Like, you are two parts together. You're one. You wouldn't exist without both of you, without both parts. And so it's like empathy, I guess. It's like looking at something from another person's perspective and trying to understand what it would be like from their perspective. It gives you insight, and it also would help you to know how to better work with them.
That makes sense. Cool.
Like, have them on your team.
Like, if you knew the whole time that Quicksilver, if somebody shot a bullet at you, he could just go move it so it doesn't hit you. You would treat bullets completely differently. Like, if he's always with you. Yeah. And like, someone pulls a gun and you're like, hey,
yeah.
Right? It's not a threat anymore.
It's not a threat, and so that's it. Don't get us wrong. We're not saying put yourself in unnecessary risk.
Oh, no.
And we're not saying depend on, factors that you're not yet clear on.
Yeah, because that's assuming you could talk to Quicksilver and say, hey, dude, if they pull the trigger,
no.
why don't you go move that bullet out of the way for me?
Yeah, and that the communication and the relationship were such that they would do what you said.
Right. Because like we talked about with the CEO, there's no paper trail.
Yeah, right. So just to clarify, we're not saying put yourself in unnecessary risk, but I love how you're saying that, because you're kind of alluding to a section that's coming up that talks about threats and how you perceive threats. And so I'm super excited. Cool. This is like powerful stuff. It's some of my favorite stuff in the whole book.
And these are just tips for how to apply these concepts to make change in your life in a way that is lasting and quicker and easier and more enjoyable than you've ever done in your life. So that's what
just
we're trying
that.
to. Just that. We're just kind of, hey, if you wanted to try this, you could do it this way.
You could do it that way.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. We love you.
Love you guys. See you tomorrow.
Bye.